more taller than you.
Are you?
Alright guys, today I decided to do a video on something that a lot of you guys have been asking, especially on Mom's channel, 8 Passengers. If you've been watching recently, you watched the video where Abby
and Sherry got a waxing from me, and we waxed Sherry's belly
stomach.
button.
Yes, because I got hair on my stomach. And so we waxed it, and you guys all saw, and you asked, why does Sherry have a scar on her stomach? And so I'd like to say that I got mauled by a bear protecting Chad, or like ripped apart by sharks in the ocean, but no.
I like that story, we should go with that.
Yeah, that's what happened, guys, totally. No, it's not what happened, and so we are here to give you the real scoop on what happened to my stomach.
Sherry had a rough time as a baby. She cried and cried and cried, but she was my oldest, and so I didn't know. I just thought, wow, babies cry a lot more than I was anticipating.
I was a cute baby.
She was darling.
Everybody loved me so much.
She was a really cute baby, but she cried nonstop, and I thought it was normal. Well, at about 3 months, she got a fever, and it wasn't like a terribly high fever. It was only around like 101, but it just means you're sick. So we took her to the doctor, and he's like, yeah, she's got some swollen lymph nodes. She's probably got like a sore throat, and just give her some Tylenol to bring the fever down, and she'll be fine. So we took you home, and then you just seemed to just cry nonstop, and you started throwing up. And so that was like 1 day later. So we took you back to the doctor, and we're like, I'm sorry we're here again, but I just feel like we need to bring Sherry back to the hospital to see you because now she's throwing up. And she had a fever, and her lymph nodes were still swollen and throwing up. And so he checked you for strep, which most babies don't have strep. So it came back negative. He's like, you know, the only other thing I can think of would be strep. So take her home, try to get her as many fluids as she can. Took her home, and it was everything she threw up, and it was like projectile. And Kevin said we should take Sherry back to the hospital tonight. I said she was just at the doctor yesterday, and she was at the doctor like 4 hours ago, a second different doctor. So 2 doctors have looked at her. It can wait till morning. He's like, I usually rely on mother's intuition. He's like, but this time,
Mother saved me.
I am taking her to the hospital. You can come if you want, or you can stay home and go to sleep, but I don't care what you say, I am taking Sherry back to the hospital. I was like, okay, we're overreacting. We are first-time parents. We are going to be laughed at because we can't take care of a kid with a cold. It turns out, Dad's choice saved your life.
Yay, because I did look into it. I saw it. It can be fatal if it's not caught for 2 to 5 days.
So you'd already had it for almost 2 days. So we took her to the doctor, and we found out that she had an intussusception. And then they got an ambulance and took her to Primary Children's, where we were met by the surgeon, and he said, it's gone on for almost 2 days. I'm not going to guarantee that a surgery, and she's so young, I'm not guaranteeing that she's going to come back from the surgery. I just want to prepare you for that. But we're going to do the best that we can.
The success rate for this surgery is 80%, and that's usually in adults. So the chances of it for being a kid, and especially really young.
And it had gone on for so long that it was really quite a miracle that you came out of it.
So what is an intussusception, you may ask? Today I'm going to be your biology and anatomy teacher, and I'm going to teach you what it is. I did not know how to spell it, so I did have to look it up. But let's imagine that this is an intestine. It usually happens in a small intestine, but this is how the doctor showed Mom what it was. So imagine that this is your intestine, and you know, food and blood and liquids run through it that help you, like, you know, go to the bathroom.
So it fills up.
Helps you eat. So
your intestines.
It's full with stuff.
It is full of lymph nodes, and those lymph nodes are little bumps on the inside. It's not full of muscle, but it acts as a muscle. And I don't know, maybe you guys can help me. Is the small intestine a muscle? Anyway, there's little nubs on the inside, little lymph nodes, and it helps like push the food along, squeezes the food along. And what happened was Sherry got one lymph node swollen. The intestine mistakes that little lymph node as something that needs to be digested. And so it takes the lymph node and it starts pulling trying to push it through as food. And as you're seeing, it starts to digest itself. It telescopes the sock onto itself. Do you see how her intestine is getting smaller because half of it is inside of itself? So it got to about this point. There was 6 inches and it sits like that and then it dies. And so there were 6 inches of her intestine that was died. And so what the surgeon did was he cut right here into the good intestine and he cut right here into the good intestine, threw this part away, and then sewed the good parts together. And voila, you get a Sherry.
How long was I in the hospital for?
1 week.
1 week, okay. And I have pictures of me.
She was so cute.
I almost said cork. Was it a crane or a stork?
It was like a stork.
It was like a stuffed stork. Who got it for me? Was it like grandma or somebody?
Grandma Frankie got it for you. And I'm terrible at keeping stuff.
I know. I had a Winnie the Pooh stuffed animal that I had when I was like 1. And it was huge and I loved it. And then Mom threw it away. Rip Winnie the Pooh. So have any of you guys had a surgery? I'm curious to know. So I had a intussusception. I also had a tonsillectomy where they removed my tonsils and adenoids, was it? Mm-hmm. So have you guys had any surgeries before that are interesting or even like the most boring of surgeries?
I had my toenail removed once.
Oh yeah, she had like an ingrown toenail and it was disgusting. So the surgery was a success, and after I got out, I was a much happier baby. I was funner to be around. I didn't cry as much. I slept through the night. I was able to eat. And here I am living to this day to annoy my siblings. That is my mission in life, and I'm able to be a joy to my family as well as an annoyance sometimes, but I'm so glad that I am still here. I also had a question for you guys. I was thinking that in future videos I could do like a movie segment kind of thing, a movie quote. So just in the middle of the video somewhere, I would say like an iconic movie quote. And then the first person to type in the comments what movie the quote was from would get a big thumbs up, congratulations from me. So if that is like a game that you guys would want to do, comment down below and let me know if that's something that you guys would like to do. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to my surgery story from when I was a little baby. Again, let me know if you guys have had any surgeries and if that movie quote game is something that you guys would like to do. Be sure to hit that notification bell. My mom has a bell sitting somewhere that I would ring right now, but I don't know where it is. So hit that notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Oh, there it is. There it is. We got it. Hit the notification bell. Goodbye.